Hey friends. Um, so today I'm coming to this post with kind of like a question. I I usually I usually use this post as an opportunity to speak about something. Usually it has come to some sort of insight. Um, and as I've said many times, I employ this time as a sort of opportunity slash responsibility to reflect on my own life from the highest vantage point that I can muster on any given day. And if you've listened to my post regularly, you've heard me say this 100 times at least. There's almost nothing more valuable than creating that space for oneself, because it's almost like you can be your own you can be your own coach, you can be your own mentor, you can speak from the highest place that you can see from, and hear yourself say all the things that you need to hear, or at least a lot of them. So that's what I usually try to do. Today I've kind of showed up with a question, because I think I actually have my insight, but I've been going around a little bit on a decision whether or not to participate in a leadership training program over the coming 12 months. And I have basically put the issue to bed. I'm basically there. I sent an email yesterday saying that really outlined kind of where I was coming from, and that even though this feels like a really great opportunity, my gut is telling me this isn't the right time for this. And I got a response back that was, again, very, very thoughtful. I found the I find the level of communication from the person running the program really high, and I find the whole thing pretty legit. And there was just a hint in this email of, well, for lack of a better word, what I kind of call coaching speak, which is I had articulated my gut impulse, and I had said, on the level of the mind, there's almost nothing wrong with this program. I am essentially available except for a handful of dates. But my resistance, or my hesitation, really comes from a sense deep within me that just says this is kind of isn't it right now. And so that's what I articulated, and I said it in hopefully more eloquently and concisely than I just did, but essentially like that. And I got an email back that had a little bit of that coaching speak in it, where it took what I was feeling and framed it as, where is your resistance coming from? Like, what is that's not what was said in the email. It was like, he affirmed that gut level impulses are really important, and we need to honor them, but they also point to deeper layers, and we want to figure out if this is a fear of something, or if it's a restriction that needs to be set free. And there's there's something in this that I've found over the years of being involved in sort of coaching programs and working with coaches and leadership. I haven't really done a leadership training before, but there's a thing that programs like that often do, and I think that I don't know how else they could do it. I don't know if there's any way around this, but there's a way in which the program or the representatives of the program presume that the program, they know how much value the program has, right? They know how much value is in the journey. And so from their point of view, it's like all they can see is what I'm missing out on, what the potential client could be missing out on if they decide not to do the program. And that's a totally defensible, justifiable position, because it's true. They do have a deeper understanding. Hopefully they've run this program a number of times. They've seen the results. They know what people get out of it. And but what they don't see is necessarily what my own intuition is pointing me towards. That sort of makes it feel like this program is maybe not exactly what I want to be doing right now. So, in other words, the coaching speak thing has a bit of a it's like presumed right until proven wrong. It's like it presumes itself to be the right thing to do. Now, that's overstating it, and nobody would actually say that, and I'm sure people, especially someone who's kind of as nuanced as the person running this program, would never claim that. But there's also a way in which you kind of have to feel that if you're the person soliciting the program, if you're the person sort of like out there saying, hey, look, I know what this can do for you. You should just try it. Just trust me. Take my word for it. It's going to be like a rocket taking off. You're going to love it. And so I understand it. I understand where that comes from, and I have to kind of concede that that's where they have to come from. But I still gotta come from me. I still gotta go in here and go, yeah, but what am I about right now? And I'm somebody who has a long history of having pretty subtle impulses. And therefore having sometimes a hard time listening to them. It's really, and I have very subtle, energetic, and sort of intuitive impulses, and I have a very strong and active mind. So my mind can very easily just drive a truck through those impulses. And it's like debris just flies, and then those impulses take months or years to come back. And for some reason, I feel like I'm tapping into one of those right now. And I'm really hesitant to say yes to something that's going to put me on a journey that may or may not be in total alignment with that impulse. You know, there's the part of me that makes me, the thing that makes me wonder about this is, it's like, well, what if this journey would actually be an enhancer of that impulse that I'm having? What if it would really be a help? But my intuition says it's not. That's with no concrete data to go on telling me that that's the case. Just sheer intuition. So it's actually, you know, some of the what feels like some of the most rigorous work I've ever done to just be, to stay with that intuition and not begin analyzing it or begin extrapolating it, because I can almost make that into it like I just did. I said, well, what if this program would support that intuition? I can take almost any deep impulse and my mind can find a way to get where it wants to go. It's like, oh, here's the starting point, here's where the mind wants to go. It will take this starting point and find a way to plug it in to this end point. If I let the mind do that, if I allow my mind to do that, it will find a way, and it will be convincing, at least intellectually. It may lack a kind of like core soul level resonance, but it'll be enough to convince my mind and enough to convince anybody else in the world. But that doesn't matter. That's not the truth. So I really think that's what I'm facing here as a decision, and that's what's creating a level of charge around the decision that feels not necessarily unusual for me. I like charged decisions. One of my favorite things is to hum and haw about a hard decision. And if the decision's not that hard, I'll find a way to make it hard. But as I sit with this decision and I honor the different layers and the kinds of impulses that are coming up and the level of subtlety on which I'm feeling things, it is helpful. There is some real it feels like I'm moving into a deeper kind of integrity with myself, with my core deep self. So that's where I'm at. I guess it's not just a question. I had a little bit of an answer. Does this spark anything for you? Is there any way in your life that you have this kind of back and forth between your mind and the deeper part of you? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. But either way, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great day. I'll see you soon.